have primary control of critical vehicle functions. Roger roll, Discovery.
Hello and welcome to Cut Into the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben, I'm joined by Mike.
Hello.
And Claire.
Hey.
Today we're going to talk about Valiant Thor, stranger in the Pentagon, the man who came to Earth to help.
The man from Venus.
The man from Venus, Commander Valiant Thor.
Was he the only man on Venus?
I don't know.
All the women.
Yeah.
If he is, fair play.
Good luck to him.
Good luck to him.
Yeehaw.
Apparently he was the most handsome man ever. Well, I've seen the pictures, I don't agree.
I hope he's got some titanium pants because Venus is quite hot. Well, we'll get into that.
And then later on we have a scientific announcement.
Yep.
Breaking news, emergency broadcast worthy, nearly.
Nearly. I thought it was, but never mind. We've stuck it on the end of here.
We've tagged it on. We've tagged it on to a story about alien. Which is what we usually do. Alright then, shall we start by thanking some new and returning listeners, and then we'll do some weird news to start the show with. Alright, where we got then Linda Avella in Portugal. I'm not even going to pronounce that one in Honduras, but thanks. Tegucigalpa, whatever, thank you.
Thanks,
Enfield, United Kingdom, Sherry in India, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Cordoba in Argentina. I've signed a few players from Cordoba on Football Manager.
You're probably thinking the Spanish Cordoba.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the
I think it's
Argentinian.
pronounced Cordoba. I don't know.
Whatever. Yoshka Ola in the Russian Federation, Toronto, Canada, Mountain View, California, Dublin, Ireland, Cessnock in Australia, Thornton, Australia, Chicago, Illinois. Into the top 10, New Madrid in Missouri, that's a new one, McLean, Virginia, Virginia, oh fantastic. Madrid, Spain, Salt Lake City, full of Mormons, so they listen to us. That's a valid point though, wasn't it Salt Lake City like full of Mormons?
That doesn't matter. We don't discriminate against anybody.
I'm just saying, I didn't think they had a sense of humour. Oh no, wait, they're into polygamy. Oh, they're alright, they are. Not polygamy. They're alright, monogamy. Which one's
They're definitely not into monogamy, I think.
multiple wives, polygamy. Yeah.
Polygamy.
Yeah. Guadalajara, Spain, and top is Shady Nasty, New York.
Wee.
Again, thanks Shady Nasty. Send us a message. That'd be nice. Or if you can send us a message if you
There's
like.
19 of them.
Yeah. You know, we get lonely, send us a message. Okay, yeah, weird news then.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
UFO sighting, Hunter claims crashed space capsule in forest is 100% alien technology. Hunters are now scientists.
Yeah, I was going to say, is he a scientist?
100%.
100%. A Polish hunter is now more qualified than
That's it.
NASA. Don't listen. No one listens to experts anymore, though. You know that. I'm not listening to a doctor. This bloke on the internet says that coronavirus isn't real. That doctor who spent years of medical science.
What the fuck does he know?
What's he know? He's funded by Big Pharma.
He's a
Fuck
shill.
him. He's a shill. So the supposed UFO. Someone help me out with the next word.
I don't know where you are.
The supposed UFO
Anomaly.
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 It's my fucking Achilles heel, that word is. Has been found seemingly abandoned in the depths of dense Polish woodland. Numerous photos of the perplexing object have been published in local news site ecodinia.eu. The pictures purport to depict an object vaguely reminiscent of a space capsule larger than an adult, lying on its side, surrounded by trees and empty bottles of alcohol.
Right.
So Polish. There's bottles of Tyskie everywhere.
Around the bus shelters.
No, that's vodka. The object is the exact shape of the famous Kecksburg UFO that crashed in December 1965. I'm gonna guess neither of you have ever heard of the Kecksburg crash.
No.
I
Right,
know where Kecksburg is for starters.
it's in America. I think it's like
Kex.
Kentucky or somewhere like that. And
Sounds south, doesn't it? Kecksburg.
Kecksburg. And basically it was like a bell-shaped or almost like an acorn-shaped craft, which allegedly crashed. There is some theories that it's the Nazi Bell or Die Glocke time machine / advanced Vril-powered interdimensional spacecraft.
Well, I can tell you why that's bollocks, why they didn't invent a time-travelling bell.
Go on then.
Go on.
Because the fucking Nazis lost.
But did they, Mike?
Well, no, they didn't actually.
Did they? I mean, alright, the German economic miracle of the 50s had nothing to do with Germany being really efficient. It was a load of Nazis came home with a shit ton of stolen gold. Basically.
Well, we incorporated them, didn't we?
And, they went off to America.
The ones that were useful, we said come over to our side. The ones that weren't, you can go and hang.
Well, look at it another way. After the war, you had a thing called denazification, right? And they didn't want to put former Nazis in political positions. Makes sense. Problem is, the only people in the country who could run the country were all former Nazis.
Why is that?
Because they were the people who were best equipped to run the country.
Well,
They've been doing it for years. You can't just put, you, Bob.
what happens when you have a change of government?
They usually keep majority of the same fucking people in the lower positions. Some of them are town mayors and things like that. You might as well just have the same
That's
guy.
I
why
don't
corruption never changes,
Yeah.
does it really? The cogs are so slow because you can't get these people out, can you? Because it's the underbelly as well.
That's it. It's the lower political mechanisms.
Civil servants.
Civil servants running government departments because they've got experience doing it. You're not gonna. So you're a Nazi now? 9? Okay. Stop doing that thing with your arm. It's true. Read about it. It's all a complete bollocks. All complete bollocks. And need denazification. They never went away, Mike. They just changed their name.
Doesn't surprise me.
So UFO hunter and self-styled alien expert Scott Waring claims the object could be a long-forgotten crashed spacecraft. He took to his UFO sightings daily site to speculate how it may relate to a famous UFO event. It's the exact shape of the famous Kecksburg UFO. There's a picture of it there for you guys to look at. This is from the Express, the UK paper. You can find it on there.
It looks like a very old tanker or something.
Or a bell.
Or a bell. Yeah. Or
think
one
it's
of
like
those furnace things that you use in furnaces.
A blast furnace.
Well, I don't know. That's what I was asking.
It looks like a NASA pod, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know what you mean, like a lander.
Could be that, yeah. Well, I imagine they would have reclaimed all them. Wouldn't have left them to rot in the woods, would they?
They certainly would have left one to rot in Eastern Europe, which
No.
was under Soviet
No,
occupation.
no,
at
I'm
the
not
time.
saying it is NASA.
Unless they-
I'm just
Oh, no,
saying
no,
that's
no.
what it looks like.
Unless they couldn't recover it because it was in Eastern Europe.
That's just what happened to the astronauts or the monkey.
Yeah.
Poor monkey. There's a monkey running around wild now in the forests of Poland. He's got cosmic radiation. He's 7 foot tall. I mean, it's quite a good photo. It looks like a metal balloon. You're right, Claire. That does exactly does look a lot like some kind of NASA lander.
Yeah, from that angle it definitely does.
So is there a chance this bloke's found a surplus one on eBay?
You just NASA lander.
You would laugh, but years ago,
I'd make a fire pit out of it.
that would be the best fire pit in the world. Years ago, there was a Vulcan bomber on eBay. Went for $7,500.
Shit.
Couldn't fly anymore. Had all the like the shell and a few bits in there. But
This could be a replica that they used for a marketing gimmick or something at the time. You don't know, do you? Could be
It
anything.
looks a bit rusted, doesn't it?
Well, it looks rusted. I think if aliens were going to send UFOs millions of light years through space or whatever, they're going to stop it from rusting.
That's
after
what I
a
was
few-
thinking.
maybe they haven't got
Years.
Earth water on their planet.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they don't drink water. Maybe water doesn't affect their steel. Maybe they finally figured out how to unsuccessfully anti-rust something. You'd think.
Well, you'd
They
think,
can
wouldn't
come and
you?
market that shit here.
It's true. I think with it, oh man, this baby, yeah, I can take a hit off a meteorite and stick it on the Earth for 60 years. It starts to rust. So UFO historians have long considered the Kecksburg UFO to be one of the greatest unsolved mysteries. Eyewitnesses claim it was not a meteor but a craft of some kind which members of the US military then reportedly took away. And this is more like Kecksburg now. We'll do that in a future episode.
So they didn't go up and touch it because I if I was taking that picture, I'd be all over that. I'd be like tapping on it and banging on it.
Welcome to Earth.
I'd be sticking my dick in it.
Is there nothing you won't nowhere you won't stick it?
Has it returned now?
No, unfortunately. What it does, first thing I'm going to do.
I'll find a crashed alien craft and put it in there. It'll be able to tell you what it is though, won't it?
It might be able to, yeah. Hopefully. Comes back sentient.
Decides it doesn't want to hang around with you anymore. Yeah, so there we go. Boom.
Moving on.
Yeah. Oh man, we talked about Nazis a second ago.
We'll talk about Nazis.
So Donald Trump is accused of launching a US version of the Hitler Youth. Oh my god.
That's quite worrying.
It seems that the UK's Johnson government isn't the only political organisation copying whole chapters from the Nazi playbook. Okay, so President Donald Trump has announced a plan to set up what critics have already dubbed his own version of the Hitler Youth. The scheme was used to indoctrinate millions of German youngsters into Nazism in the 1930s and 40s. No way. The plan was announced in a Constitution Day speech. Constitution Day speech at the White House conference in America. How did he just drop that in? Right then, I'm going to make it.
Because I've had this idea. I'm going to make my own youth scheme.
Yeah.
Youth movement.
Oh, we'll hear what he said.
Oh, yeah.
Tells us.
Right, so he says, we must clear away the web of twisted lies in our schools and classrooms and teach our children the magnificent truth about our country. We want our sons and daughters to know that they are the citizens of the most exceptional nation in history of the world.
What's the difference between that and what North Korea spout?
Nothing. There's
There's no
no
difference, is
difference.
Well, that's it, because I mean, North Korea, you're taught that the great leader is responsible for like hamburgers and TV and lightning and all that. I mean, the Nazis were brought up to know we're the Ubermensch, and this is every other nation's shit apart from us. What is the what bit are they not going to tell them? The bit where they massacred millions of Indians.
Yeah.
The bit where they, invaded countries with no reason. What bits are they going to leave out? Because haven't they fought a war every 10 years? The Americans. It's not that they've been at peace for very long as a nation, for a relatively young nation.
Always at war, mate. Always at war. That's what the military-industrial complex requires.
Major General Smedley Butler wrote that book called War is a Racket, and he was a decorated war veteran. He'd fought in 2 wars, but even he knew it was all a money-making con.
Yeah. They were just there for the big corporations.
Yeah. Even down to the people who supplied tinned food for the army because they'd make more money. Yeah, if there's a war on, hey, we need to ship more tinned food, thank you very much. Take our money.
Well, reading between the lines here, he's saying, we're just going to leave all the bad stuff out, isn't it? And
yeah, it's jingoistic nonsense, isn't it?
Patriotic education.
So, this is the same president that also called the New York Times 1619 project, Pulitzer Prize-winning project aimed at teaching American students about slavery, toxic propaganda.
So you can't teach them about slavery now. So what are they going to say the Civil War was about?
Well, they don't say it's about slavery, do they? Say it's about state rights.
States' rights.
And that's just a load of bollocks. That's just what the racists
It's
say.
what it's two. It is states' rights. It's also slavery.
It's also slavery.
Well,
mainly slavery.
Lincoln made it about slavery when he did the Emancipation Proclamation,
he did,
and that was when slavery became the founding reason for the North to fight. But Yeah, to begin with, it was states' rights, I suppose, but it was a various number of factors, not just two things. There's a lot.
Trump's trying to establish a national commission to promote patriotic education.
Fuck me. Yeah, it is hitting the youth, isn't it? Let's face it.
It's a bit scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Would you want your kids going to school to be only taught the good bits of British history? Where, hey, we went to it. We had this. Look, this British Empire. We conquered all that. Didn't tell you we raped and massacred our way across some of it. We just conquered it really peacefully. We just turned up and said, "Hey, do you want to be part of the British Empire?" And they went, "Oh yeah, go on then."
I also don't want them to know everything.
Trump wants to apparently counter the liberal indoctrination of the American youth.
Have a fascist indoctrination instead.
Yeah.
It's a bit nuts, isn't it?
It's a bit worrying that you're going to fuck around with kids' I mean, alright, education is brainwashing to a point. You want people to behave in a certain way when they leave the system. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to sort of if you want to indoctrinate your own politics into the kids, then that's dangerous, isn't it?
Well, not for them, not for him.
Not for him, and not for the people who think that way.
Yeah.
You're wiping out an entire school of thought.
Of course.
I mean, he was banging on about good genes the other day. Oh, I've got good genes. All you people have got great genes in this part.
The white people, yeah.
Haven't we all got... Well, some people have slightly different genes, but we're all fucking virtually 99.99% similar, let's face it.
He's a racist eugenicist. That's what he is.
And if he thinks he's got good genes, what does that make me? That makes me some kind of Superman.
Yeah.
If Trump thinks... If these people who turn up for these white power rallies think they're the master race, then where does that put me?
What's that put me?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a master, fantastic example of humanity, but I'm certainly above some bloke with 7 chins and a fucking beer gut. And no teeth in his head. Exactly. And can't spell. Come on.
I screwed myself with a red stick.
Wesley, get Mama's prying broom. Launch her at the hammock with it.
His overarching sort of message is racist, isn't it? Even if he's just saying we're the best nation ever, that's making out that he's better than anybody when, you know, we're all across the world equal, aren't we? So it's how it is.
That's it. That's what happens when you get a dictator in power. They want to create the country in their image, how they want it to be. Fuck everybody else.
Imagine if he made all the kids wear wigs of his hair to show they were in his organisation. Here come the blonde wigs or the brown shirts, here come the blonde wigs.
Oh fuck me, that'd be creepy.
Here come the blonde wigs and they just goose stepping down the street.
Oh, I think we should plug that toilet brush. Get the Donald Trump toilet brush on Wish.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Lovely treat for your bathroom.
You can get Trump bog paper as well.
Can you?
Yeah. I think you can probably get Biden toilet paper too, to be honest, and the other political parties are available.
Not in America, there aren't. That's the fucking problem.
I thought there was someone in the third party who
Yeah,
was...
but they've got to get like 15% of the vote to get onto the into the debates and shit. It's like a never-ending circle. You can't get on the debates if you haven't got 15%. And you can't get 15% because you're not on the debates.
I like that Andrew Yang I did last year.
Is he in California?
Yeah, I liked him. UBI, yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure he swore his oath of office on a Captain America shield because he's an atheist. He said, there's no point in me swearing on the Bible. I'll swear on something that means something to me and means something represents the country to me. So he got his Captain America shield replica and swore his oath on that, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, I think he had some good ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just seemed a bit fresh, you know, compared to all the old rotters in.
Well, I like Bernie, you see, because he was a socialist, but unfortunately...
he got screwed again?
Well, the first time he definitely got screwed. This time, they all sort of backed out, didn't they, and coalesced around Biden.
He did have an heart attack as well, though, didn't he, Bernie,
Yeah,
on the
did,
campaign trail, and he was like 5 days later, he was at hospital giving a speech again.
I don't think it was a heart attack, I think it was an operation.
I think it might have been some kind of bypass.
Yeah, it wasn't a heart attack.
No.
He didn't have a heart attack. He had an operation.
Well, either way...
Yeah.
Then again, they reckon Biden's only do like 6 months and then step down and hand it over to that Kamala Harris, because Did you? Oh man, did you
Hate
see?
her.
Did you see Biden get off a plane the other day and wave to an empty field?
I didn't know.
It was fantastic. I'll mime it out for the listener, but he basically got off a plane, runways to his left, empty field to his right, and there's obviously his supporters down on the left. And he steps out, he looks towards the right, puts a wave up, gives a thumbs up, big smile, then turns and you're like, who's he waving to? Then again, my nan used to think that John Nettles from Midsummer Murders was living down the garden in the shed, so...
He's definitely got
She used to she'd stand at the kitchen window and give a wave, so maybe you thought John Nettles was there.
Has he gone to Specsavers?
Nobody should have gone to a fucking doctor for his dementia.
Yeah. Best bit was when he said, "Oh, if you don't like me, vote for the other Biden."
Do you think he's seeing another Biden next to him?
Don't vote for me, but my brother, the other Biden.
Either way, that's concerning
They're
news.
old over there, aren't they?
This is it.
A bit of youth.
I don't see why the guy in charge has to be old.
I just think it's a thing over there, isn't it? Why is old?
But over here, when Johnson's in his late 50s.
If shit goes downhill, they could just tase him and give him a heart attack. Get him out of office, quick time.
If only. Where's that CIA heart attack gun? That's what you need.
Yeah, where is that?
Get Trump and Boris.
I heard on Twitter, it was leaked, that Boris is on another affair. His missus has left him already. Don't know how true that is, but...
Never.
Oh well.
I don't care what he does in his private life.
No.
It's what he does in his public life that pisses me off.
I was going to say, he's not doing a lot.
What, so it wouldn't bother you if he was fucking kids in his private
Obviously
life?
illegal. That's illegal, isn't it? That's nothing illegal, obviously.
He's done a lot of coke, that's illegal.
You know, if he wants...
Went to that Russian oligarch's mansion in Italy and said he didn't.
I can't imagine him on coke. About it, wouldn't it?
That's what you'd hear, wouldn't it?
I should be getting voted in on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Into the halls of power.
Vote Ben.
Don't vote Ben.
No, vote Ben. Vote for me, listeners.
Let's move on.
Alright then, go on then, Mike.
Conspiracy theorists clash with police as anti-lockdown protest. Okay, hundreds of conspiracy theorists have gathered in central London to protest against coronavirus restrictions in the UK as infections worsen. Scuffles broke out as police moved in on demonstrators in Trafalgar Square who formed human blockades in an attempt to prevent arrests and initially force officers to move back. Demonstrators advanced on police while shouting "Choose your side," and some were seen throwing objects at officers during a largely peaceful demonstration on Saturday afternoon.
Choose your side.
You want to side with the government who pays you, or us lot who aren't going to pay you, but you'll be on the right side if you're with us. So
Never did a better rousing speech than that.
Well, these people aren't very bright, Mike.
At around 3 p.m, the Metropolitan Police announced that it would be dispersing protesters and making arrests after trying to explain, engage and encourage them to leave throughout the day. Footage showed several lines of officers in riot gear near the National Gallery with mounted police on standby as police reportedly told people to leave the rally.
Oh, that's how you encourage, engage and get people to leave. You send in the mounted police to batter a few heads. Because the National Gallery leads directly onto Trafalgar Square. So you've got this nice open area to flank round with your horses and a pincer movement. Just saying.
The Resist and Act for Freedom rally was the latest in a series of protests by a wide-ranging coalition of groups who oppose lockdown restrictions. Look, they're entitled to do it. If they want to go out there and protest, that's their right.
They're also spreading the disease.
I think they're dangerously misinformed and playing with their lives, but hey.
Yeah, but they're not just playing with their lives. It wouldn't be so bad if Bob, who you work with, went to that and picked it up and comes back into the office on Monday and gives it to you. He's playing with your life.
You're right, yeah.
He's playing with your family's life. You go and see your mum, you don't realise you've got it, you give it to her. You know, that's how it spreads. That's how any disease spreads.
Right, yeah.
And alright, it hasn't got a massive kill rate, but its big thing is it fucking infects a shit ton of people very quickly.
And they think there's some nasty long-term conditions.
Yeah, lung scarring, things like that.
Enlarged heart.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these protesters just go floppy as well, I read.
Yes, I've seen that.
They just go floppy, so they have to get 4 police people to grab them, and it looks like they're manhandling them, when in reality they're just, going like a dead weight.
But at the moment, there is a law passed recently, wasn't there? You can't have more than 6 people. So if they're breaking the law, then that's fair enough, and the police should move in. I don't know when this was written. I don't know if it was written before the 6 people or after, because if there was no
this
law,
was written before. That only came in.
Okay, so then
recently, this protest took place
I'm
last
totally
Saturday.
against it, and it's going to fuck society up. Ultimately, and innocent people are going to die. But that's the price you have of freedom, isn't it?
Yeah, all right. Well, let's just see who was there apart from the anti-COVID, anti-lockdown people.
Huh?
Like, read on, you'll see who else was there. It wasn't just the anti-COVID people, anti-lockdown people. You've got supporters of QAnon, which centres on claims that Satan worship and paedophiles are running a global child sex trafficking ring.
Well, I believe in that.
Signs opposing vaccinations and 5G. Someone's... The novel coronavirus, like a novel, like a story, it's all made up.
Fucking hell.
Another woman claimed 5G grows cancer. So you've got all the loons in one place, which would have been the perfect time to unleash not just the mounted police, but also the household cavalry. You could have taken out all the idiots in one go. Probably a lot of racists too. Just saying.
This is why you shouldn't get into power.
So they all turned up the other day then?
They all turned up for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. This country, this world's going to shit.
That's why it needs me. Not that I'm blowing my own trumpet or nothing.
It needs an alien ship to glass it.
That's why they need this. We need to, bust the conspiracy theories and...
That's why we need Valiant Thor.
Because people don't trust the news and they've got a right not to. They have been lying to them for years about the economy, about wars, about all this shit. Well, this is what happens when you don't have
a good education system.
A good education system, a trustworthy media. This is the shit you get. This is the result of it, unfortunately.
5G kills cancer. Cures cancer. Kills cancer. Kills cancer. Grows cancer.
We're reaping what we sow, aren't we?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if half of these conspiracies don't come from, other countries and just, really smart people that just want to disrupt stuff.
Of course.
Bot campaigns, yeah.
We do it to other countries to stabilise them.
Whoever's doing ours has done a bloody good job, though, haven't they?
Yeah, I didn't need a lot, did they?
I know, but credit to Yuri for that.
And next week we'll find out how social media has torn society apart.
Yeah, with
polarised it.
Yeah.
Oof. Alright then, let's talk about the main cut and thrust of today. Valiant Thor, the man who came to Earth to save us all.
That.
The extraterrestrial who lived at the Pentagon. Any thoughts on this after reading about it?
Well, let's go for it first, so listeners might not have ever heard of it before. Then we'll discuss it then.
This story is a documented case. Maybe. In a case in the late 1950s of the US government and alien interaction where a man and a few companions claiming to be from the planet Venus, the interior of the planet though, came here to help humanity grow spiritually. He said there were at least 70 other aliens from Venus living here on Earth at that time. Wow. Well, they want to fucking hurry up and do something then.
There's a picture of him in this article, so you can go and look it up, listen it.
He does look very handsome.
Type in Valiant Thor. What do you think, Claire?
Looks like one of the Mormons that come
It
knocking
does.
on the doors, doesn't it? I'm like, do you want a cup of tea? They don't do caffeine, do they?
I don't know what Venetians drink.
Yeah, the Mormons.
I don't know what they drink either.
No caffeine, no stimulants.
Oh, are the Amish.
I guess so. Pop.
So the book, A Stranger at the Pentagon, tells us a very peculiar story about an extraterrestrial on a mission. His name was Valiant Thor, and many believe he was real. Now at 8 a.m, March 16th, 1957, Valiant Thor arrived in a ship which landed in Alexandria, Virginia in an agricultural field.
No photos, I guess.
No photos.
Okay.
According to Doctor Strange's...
Doctor Strange and Thor, they're taking the piss. They're taking the piss. They just read a Marvel comic. They just read a Marvel comic.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Doctor Strange and Thor.
Doctor Strange's.
Strangers.
Put an S on the end. I was looking a bit...
His own doctorship is probably not the most trustworthy, in all fairness. I think he started referring to himself as a doctor at some point.
Fucking hell, I ain't going to him.
Hi everybody! Hi Doctor Stranges! Thor was about 6 feet tall, 185 pounds, with brown wavy hair and brown eyes. The police were the first on... Oh, and also apparently an interesting feature, his skin was as smooth and unblemished as a child. He was a very... You know, he had a man's grip when he shook hands.
It's Superman!
Or he used moisturiser.
Oh, I bet Venetian moisturiser's really good.
I bet not. 'Cause it's designed to work at 400 degrees C.
Yeah. If you can't keep your skin moisturised at 400 degrees C, Mike, what good is it? It'd be awesome moisturised.
No good here, would it?
Of course it would. It would take 50 years off you in one go.
I'll have some.
Probably rip your skin up.
Facial peel.
Literally, you just got down to the red.
95% sulfuric acid.
The police were the first on the scene and found him calm with only one request: to meet with President Eisenhower. Literally a take me to your leader moment.
It is, isn't it?
Maybe the police didn't have cameras back then. Especially not in 1957. Would they carry a camera with them, do you think? Your average Virginian policeman?
I doubt it.
Probably not.
So, they took him through to the Pentagon where he met with the Secretary of Defence, and later with Eisenhower, Nixon and all the joint
Just
chiefs.
like that, is it? No security checks, nothing?
It's in space, Mike. Are we going to run a security check on him? Well, how are you?
Well, I'll be testing his theory if he was from Venus or not.
What, how? We're going to cut him
in
and
the
see
bollocks.
cut him and see if he bleeds red?
Yeah. Chop his head off.
Well, that's not going to spark an interstellar incident, is it? Hey, we sent Commander Thor down to Earth. They cut his head off. Well, we better invade them fuckers then, haven't we? It's an act of war. Us and the fucking Federation of Planets.
This is why I'm not president.
So Valiant Thor remained in the United States for 3 years. Now, according to the book, he had been sent to Earth by the High Council to intervene on behalf of the intergalactic community. They were worried about our nuclear capabilities and how nuclear warfare could lead to the obliteration of the human race.
I felt that last week.
Yeah, you were quite traumatised.
Yeah.
Problem is, though, aliens don't seem to care about nukes nowadays. It's weird. No one ever mentions getting abducted by aliens and being lectured on the evils of nuclear weapons anymore. But in the 50s, that shit was always happening.
Yeah.
Right, so extracted from A Stranger at the Pentagon by Dr. Frank E. Stranges, PhD, 1967. When I asked him where he came from, he replied, I am from the planet that is called Venus. I asked him how many visitors from Venus are presently on Earth, and he said there are presently 77 of us walking among you in the United States. We are constantly coming and going. The first meeting, we'll jump back to that. He meets these two coppers in a field in Virginia. Take me to your leader. He then, they've got their weapons drawn.
So he landed in a craft.
Yeah.
And then they got, where's his craft?
Well, I imagine they came and got it. I did read in one thing that it's invisible.
Huh. How convenient.
Yeah.
I'm from Venus in my invisible ship. Take me to your leader.
Well, it's not going to have flashing neon lights saying air spacecraft from Venus on it, is it?
Why not?
It's a bit Flight of the Navigator, isn't it?
Well, do you think they're going to make it really obvious, though, are they? Put some neon lights around it. You know, get it here with a LED picture of some tits.
In Invisible ship. Get the fuck
I
out.
was thinking of the T-twister sign from Dusk Till Dawn. They're not going to have that splashed across the side, are they?
They've got cloaking devices though, you know, haven't they?
Have they?
They have in Star Trek.
They have in Star Trek, they have in Star Wars
It's
as
just
well.
a little dubious at this
It
point.
would make sense. A thought transference quickly convinced them that he meant no harm, and he was ushered into the backseat of the patrol car.
Well, you're not a Jedi then?
He's
It's
a
like
Jedi.
totally, they're like, hang on.
Get back, put your hands on your head, boy.
Yeah, I'm fucking buying this shit. And he's like, you will take me to your leader.
I mean you no harm.
Yeah.
Take me to your leader. And also, he's the most handsome man you've ever seen, remember?
I'll be able to do that one day.
Oh, when you finally finish your Jedi training, Mike. Where are you in that now?
Still on question 2.
What's question 2? What is the Force?
I forget now, not long ago.
I think they took him to Washington, D.C. They were met by the Secretary of Defense along with 6 of his staff members, and soon police from every conceivable district agency had joined in, all trying to claim their right to escort him to President Dwight D. Eisenhower.
What was going on? About fucking 50 police cars driving down the road.
The FBI, the CIA...
Ramming into him and he's like, I want him. Taking him to his car. Fucking destruction derby.
Yeah, fender benders everywhere.
There's bodies everywhere.
Capture the bag, innit?
1 million people were hurt that day.
We come in peace.
We go in peace, get the fuck away.
And you'll leave in pieces. That's from the masterful Dark Angel.
Oh, of course.
With Dolph Lundgren in it.
Good
One
film.
day it will be a film choice of mine.
Okay. So through his own version of the power of positive thinking, he was able to dismiss them all and soon pass to the security posts, followed by an Air Force captain. Meanwhile, his presence in the area had thrown everyone into a dilemma. The introduction he held from the High Council worried them because, though not written in any earthly language, their minds were given power to properly translate the inscribed message.
So all of a sudden you can read Alien.
Yep.
Just boosted your brain, he gave you a brain boost.
Oh, it's a universal translator.
Well, he said it's something with the minds, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he's doing it telepathically, I guess. I don't know. It's Valiant Thor, Mike. Like, that's one of the best porn star names ever. And I listened to a band called Valiant Thor today. They're not bad.
Yeah.
The black metal.
No, like Southern rock.
Oh, right.
Captain Gould, who was the Air Force officer, asked him to remain, and after downing 2 bourbons, muttered, "My God, why couldn't this have happened on my day off?" Suppose it's a valid point.
Yeah.
So is he just the one that won the race to get Valiant Thor to the White House, or was he flying alongside his
No, I
invisible
think
craft?
he was escorted in, and then they sent this Air Force guy down to meet and greet, I guess, make him fill out the visitor's book, give him a little pass. You know?
Welcome wagon.
Suddenly the door opened, 6 armed guards led Val to what apparently appeared to be an elevator. It rapidly went to the bottommost level, and maximum security was in place. After transferring to an underground train, they sped toward the White House. 6 officials, 6 armed guards, and 3 Secret Servicemen escorted him into the office of President Eisenhower. From behind the desk, the President rose while the Secret Service men remained nervous and uneasy. As he extended his hand to shake down the President, the Secret Service men drew their revolvers and pointed them at Valiant. Following the nod of the President, they reluctantly lowered their guns. Standing in front of his desk, the President said, "Of course you know we have suspended all rules of protocol. I have a good feeling towards you. Please, sir, what is your name and where do you come from?"
He just turns into a slothering beast and just devours him.
In one bite. Like, oh, fuck the President! I quite like Eisenhower.
Could have
as
done
well.
that, couldn't he? He'd take a bit of a risk, really. It's an alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's got positive thinking, Mike.
I think COVID's bad. Think about alien AIDS.
Well, that's true. He could have. I think Valiant's clever enough to know if he's got space AIDS. So he says, "I have a good feeling towards you. Please, sir, what is your name and where do you come from?" And he said, Valiant goes, "I come from the planet your Bible calls the morning and the evening star." Yes, and can you prove it? Or what do you constitute as proof? And he says, "Oh, I don't know. Will you come with me to my ship?" Eisenhower says, "Look, I can't just go as I please, and as he's considered committees to be consulted, security measures to be adhered to. Let's get better acquainted and, you know, learn from one another."
Better acquainted.
And Eisenhower put on something more comfortable.
Sherry?
He flipped a switch and a velvet sofa came out of the wall.
It's 50s decor as well, isn't it?
Yeah, love-shaped bed, heart-shaped bed. Maybe. Oh, I like Eisenhower, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, he spoke out against the military-industrial complex.
Even if he did suck off an alien.
Would you suck off an alien for your country, Mike? For all you know.
I just want to suck him off.
For all you know, you have sucked off an alien, and your mind wiped. You can't say, can't say 100% you haven't.
Yeah. As long as I use that barbed penis on my arse.
At that moment, another gentleman came into the room, and it was Vice President Richard Nixon.
Tricky Dicky.
Tricky Dicky. Yeah, and they basically, Nixon's like, well, you've caused a stir. Oh, you've caused a stir. It's my best Nixon impression. Didn't even bring his dog with him. So after assuring them that this planet had been under close scrutiny for hundreds of years before the 1945 bomb blast, and with his special letter still in the slightly quivering hand of the President, he was requested to follow the Secret Service back when it came to the Pentagon into a furnished apartment a beautifully furnished apartment, where he would spend the next 3 years. Fortunately, he was prepared for such a lengthy visit and kept in constant communication with the starship. There were many occasions during which he teleported himself in and out of those quarters, often exercising trans-imagery to cause the security guards to visualise his face on a non-existent badge.
Hey? I don't get that. He teleported himself in and out of those quarters, often exercising trans-imagery to cause the security guards to visualise his face on a non-existent badge.
Maybe, no, hang on, what if he buggered off to the ship, right, and then he made an image of himself to just sort of walk around in his room or walk around the Pentagon with his with the badge on, even though it wasn't there, so he's tricking you into seeing that.
It says his face on a badge. I don't understand.
Well, I don't know. Just,
I'll go with it.
He's from Venus, Mike.
It's a bit trippy, that.
Soon after his arrival, together with 3 members of his crew, he joined a convention in the backyard of the home of a Mr. Howard Menger in Highbridge, New Jersey. A certain group of individuals who are interested in UFOs are meeting that day. Val and his crew members, Don, Jill and Tanya, had changed into the same type of clothing worn by their Earth friends. The meeting was very interesting. These people were on the right track. He was dismayed to learn in the undignified manner in which these people were treated by the press. So they're meeting UFO enthusiasts who've been made out to be loonies by the press, and they're not very happy about it. The aliens.
Right.
Well, I suppose they would be. They wouldn't be, would they?
Well, you want to be believed in, wouldn't you? Would
Yeah.
you? Would you? If you're an alien? I don't know.
Well, you are an alien. You're like, hey, well done, you guys. You're on the right track. Ching fucking ching. So the President has got the High Council's thing and Valiant Thor's offer. You know what he wanted to help with? He was going to end all wars, end famine. He was going to give us technology. The human race would go into this new spiritual enlightenment era where everything was good and no one would want for anything. All we got to do is get rid of our nuclear weapons.
Yeah. And apparently Eisenhower said no.
It would upset the economy.
Fucking hell. I mean, that just sums us up, doesn't it? You can have paradise, you're no, fuck with the economy. Fuck that. Jesus. And if it's real, which I doubt it fucking is, but if it is real, then he just fucked us, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's fucked the whole planet.
Yeah. In brief, he politely told him to Valiant that the people of this planet were not ready to cope with such conditions and would come into existence if the recommendations of this unearthly visitor were put into action. Nevertheless, he was invited to assist a number of scientists who were out working on medical projects directly associated with the space sciences. He allotted time to acquaint the leaders of the United States with his suggestions was limited to 3 years. During the time he refused to advise them regarding a certain, quote, bomb in the sky, which we now know as the Star Wars system.
So, he's come down and said, right, get rid of the bombs, we'll give you paradise, effectively.
How's he going to provide that?
Yeah, well, no disease, no famine, and no one wants for anything.
Yeah, he says no He says, but can you help me build that bomb in the sky, that Star Wars system?
Well, no, Eisenhower wouldn't have been saying that.
That's what he just said, isn't it?
No, they might have been working on something, but remember 57, the Russians had only just put Sputnik up there.
Right.
So in the 60s, then when they're starting to go up more, it's like, oh, how about we have some space weapons? And they're like, nah. And he's like, nah, I'm not doing that.
That's my whole point. He's that much of a maniac, he declines the offer and asks him to build space weapons.
It would have been in no, it would have been still in Eisenhower in 61, wouldn't it? Yeah, in 1960. Yeah. So in his apartment, Val was able to maintain communications with his ship and was kept informed of growing world tensions.
What's he watching Fox News, is he?
For some reason, they were giving his uniform rigid tests, and they attempted to penetrate the material of it with a diamond drill bit. It snapped under the pressure, acid rolled off the uniform and burned a hole in the floor, and they fired a rifle at the uniform, but it failed to pierce it. It's indestructible.
Apparently.
He even fired a laser at it. Wow. Interesting. Firing laser. What?
So with him in it. Well, you'd be pretty confident, wouldn't you? If you was from Venus, go on, shoot me in it with it.
That's it. So, sadly, on March 16th, Valiant dematerialised and departed from this phase of his earthly mission. His next stop was on the outskirts of Alexandria, Virginia, where his ship and crew awaited his arrival, hidden by a wooded area. It was no problem for him to reassemble the atoms of his body inside his ship.
Show off.
As his craft rose slowly, a number of people stopped and pointed excitedly in his direction. Others stood motionless, transfixed by the sight. There was no panic, just curiosity and a strong desire to know more. Then, as the US Air Force jets were scrambled and the force field in full use, the planes darted past the ship, unable to see them now. Even ground radar lost them, and confusion once again reigned. Yeah.
On his way back to Victor 1, he meditated on his home planet. The low, heavy, colourful clouds, the even temperatures, the perfectly diffuse sunlight that made shadows almost non-existent, the lushness of the rich green grass surrounding his home. He was informed of several Earth people with whom he would maintain contact for a long time into the future. Have they come out and said?
I presume this is where we're getting this information from.
Maybe then.
The people who are enlightened enough to receive messages from him.
Apparently, upon returning to his home planet, he advised the Council of Central Control of the results of his Earth visit, including the failure of the leaders of the US to take him up on his offer of advice and assistance to the universe. He must have been like, fucking idiots.
Wait, so they don't want to live for like 800 years, have no disease, famine or war?
No, he just wanted me to build a fucking space, fucking lasers in the sky. I'm probably thinking, well, it's been a few years now, should we try? It's still on the news, it sees the leader of the US now. Oh, I can imagine it. They're like, these people are beyond hope.
Gosh.
Hey, Val, you said they put that blonde idiot in charge, and in Britain.
You thought that Eisenhower was a fucking a knobhead? Look at this guy.
Oh man. He was given the following instructions though. To come back periodically and mingle with and become as Earth people, to work and labour in Earth enterprises, to help those who encounter possible threat or danger while striving for world peace. Well, he's done a fucking terrible job so far. To give them advice and guidance, to entrust with superior knowledge those who have proven themselves, to divulge the essence of their mission to the collective national leaders of Earth only when the time is right.
So we're running out of fucking time.
Well, I don't think he's doing a very good job.
No. As of this writing, he continues with his mission. It's failing, mate. Do something.
Yeah, that's all sort of taken from the book Stranger in the Pentagon, Valiant Thor, by Dr. Stranger. Strangers.
I'm sorry, Doctor Strange and Thor. He's taking the piss. He just read a Marvel comic.
No, mate, this was
50s Marvel was about then.
Yeah, but Thor wasn't. Nor Doctor Strange for that matter.
Alright then, fucking, what's his name, robbed it off this guy then?
He's got a hell of a... imagination.
Yeah.
Let's just say one thing to get. I've got to say it. Isn't Valiant Thor the best porn star name ever?
Yeah.
It's gotta be, hasn't it? Nice one.
Ding
Wow.
dong.
There's an American news presenter called Jake Tapper.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah. That's a good porn name, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that. Jake Tapper and Valiant Thor.
Watch them while they wank off Doctor Strange.
And Richard Nixon watches in a cupboard dressed as Superman.
Yeah. That's about as realistic as it sparks. Isn't it?
Sure.
What do you think, Claire?
Yeah.
I thought Richard Nixon did like to watch people have sex or dressed as Superman.
Probably.
It's out of this world, and if they had rocked up at the White House, surely there'd be pictures. This would be.
There's a few pictures of him.
Yeah, human man.
He's a very handsome man.
Very handsome man with shiny skin, that's it. It's obviously a man that moisturises, that's their evidence. Fuck off. Invisible shits as well. Jedi mind tricks.
Did you say invisible shits or shits?
Shits. He may have had invisible shits, who knows?
I think Valiant's would have been gold plated.
Yeah, it's beyond any logic, isn't it? And you know they would have had pictures of crafts and stuff. It's not all just going to get whisked away to Area 51 now, is it?
Yes.
And if it is true, what a cunt Eisenhower was. Gave us fucking offer of paradise, he turned it down. Saved the economy, what a cunt.
Would have been a need for an economy though, that's the thing.
I know exactly.
It's not, oh no, that'd wreck the economy, and Valiant Thor's going, you wouldn't need it. What's an economy? We went past that like 1,000,000 years ago, mate. You don't need that, you've got this machine that'll replicate everything you ever need.
Star Trek style.
Nah, I'd rather have nukes.
No.
But you could replicate nukes! Maybe that's why they wouldn't give it him. He's like to Eisenhower's like, so how many nuclear weapons can I have?
Now, it's obvious this was written in 1957.
The book.
Yeah.
Oh no, Valiant came in 1957, this book was written later. 60s.
In the 60s, okay, they still didn't know about Venus.
They might have known a bit about it.
Yeah,
I'm sure the
60s.
Russians used to send probes there.
61, I think, because it was the first planet we sent a probe to. I think it was the Russians, wasn't it?
Why
Or
are you
the
not into
Americans.
Venus? No, I think it was the Russians, they've done more Venus stuff.
Yeah, I think the Americans might have been the first, but I don't know. Anyway, so tell you a bit about Venus.
Yeah.
It was named after the Roman goddess of love and beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before they knew what the planet was like, because it's actually a hellhole. The surface temperature is hot enough to melt lead.
Okay, that's pretty hot.
Atmospheric pressures are 90 times that of Earth. So you'll understand that diving.
Yeah. So that's going to be crushing.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a puddle on the you're not even going to get a puddle on the floor.
All your
like,
bones have gone.
Yeah, like a Constantina style.
So when this
person.
cunt, Valiant Thor, materialises on the surface of Venus, he's just going to fucking turn into a puddle of goo.
He's not on the not on the surface, he's underneath.
Oh, right.
It's a hollow Venus. Hollow Venus conspiracy, Mike.
Well, maybe, yeah.
I was going to say, because he ain't on the surface, there's super hurricane winds and clouds of sulphuric acid.
That suit can withstand anything.
That's why that's it.
That's why, exactly.
And it's the facial peel, isn't it? That makes him the most beautiful man in the world.
With that soft skin.
We gone to some proper science now.
Yes.
I'm just saying, if you go to sleep naked in a sandstorm, you wake up with that your cellulite. You know, could be done.
Sulphuric acid. Bad stuff. Let's move on.
What everybody, I guess, must have heard this week about the news that scientists may have discovered life
Yes.
on Venus.
What more can we say?
Yeah, okay, a team of astronomers used radio telescopes on Earth to detect a gas called phosphine high up in the atmosphere of Venus. On Earth, this gas, which is 1 phosphorus and 3 hydrogen atoms, is made in factories as rat poison, or by bacteria in certain conditions. It's found in penguin poo on Earth.
Right. So something's pooing on Venus.
Yeah, so basically, yeah.
Some shit going down.
basically on Earth it can only be produced by biological processes. Okay.
Okay.
So that's why they thought, well, let's have a look. This phosphine that we know is only produced by life on Earth. Maybe it might be somewhere else, in the galaxy.
Well, clearly it's Valiant Thor and the High Council of Intergalactic Command, isn't it? They may be perfect superior beings, right? But they're still going to dump. Maybe they're similar to penguins.
It could be. This would back it up. I'd be backing this up.
Fantastic! The science is actually on its side.
So they're living inside the planet and they're having to expel gases.
That is why Venus is in fact a methane-filled sulfuric acid nightmare. The poop of these people, because they're so perfect, is therefore in comparison absolutely lethal to mankind. And so what they've done is they just shot that all out of a hole in the crust. And it just pollutes the planet above.
Which mixes with the sulfuric acid clouds.
And then it rains sulfuric acid. Also, the velocity that's shot out causes the massive winds.
Yes, man.
Well, I think it's as good an explanation as any.
Yeah, well, anyway. Carry on. They looked to see if there's any natural processes that could be doing this. But apparently, all the natural processes on there can only produce 1/10,000th of the amount that they found. So of all the biological processes, natural processes we know on Earth, is happening on Venus, only 1/10,000th of the amount. So something's producing it.
Yeah, these guys.
And the way they found it was they looked at sunlight reflecting off Venus.
There's always something reflecting off Venus.
That's what most UFOs are, isn't it?
Swamp gas reflecting off Venus.
Yeah. And so they look at the sunlight that's reflected off Venus. Some amount of that light will be absorbed by different gases in the atmosphere.
Right.
Okay. And this will show a dip in the light, which is what they saw. And they were looking at the wavelength, which is unique to phosphine, which is 1 millimetre. Okay. So that proved then there was a dip in the light. So it proved that there has to be phosphine in the atmosphere.
Because there's a dip in the light. The same as it would be on Earth?
Yeah, anything at that wavelength they looked at. And phosphine's the only thing at that...
And it was a millimetre.
Yeah.
A dip of a millimetre.
No, millimetre wavelength, I don't really know what that means. Wavelength of light, I don't know.
Oh, so it'd be like a focused beam then, or something like that. Oh, it wouldn't be a beam. I mean, like that spot of... Oh, whatever.
They're picking up radio waves anyway.
Okay.
Some science is done.
Some science is done. They shot some radio waves into space.
And they can see a shadow.
They can see a shadow and a dip.
And
therefore, there's life.
Yep, they confirmed it with a telescope as well in Chile.
As most of them are.
Yeah, the first one was done in Hawaii. The dip doesn't occur at the poles, just at the mid-latitudes. Okay.
And so that'll be where most people will be living.
Well, the bacteria they think is in the clouds wouldn't survive at the poles because it's too cold.
Yeah.
There's not enough cloud cover.
So that's where all the poop shoots will be ejecting to from the interior.
Going round.
Yeah.
Round Venus.
Yeah, like big cannons
Big
just
shitstorm.
shooting poop out.
The only trouble is that the clouds are 85% sulfuric acid and 1 billion times more acidic than anything on Earth.
Yeah, well, there's a planet's crust in between them and the city, Mike.
Yeah, on about the bacteria. Fuck the people in the city.
How do they know that the bacteria isn't in, maybe they've got a 2-tier cloud system?
No?
Explain.
So you got your sulfuric acid, on one level, and then up a little bit more, you could have, because maybe it's a different density, this
Phosphine
could be on a different level. You don't know if it's up in the clouds.
I don't know is the answer to that. Possibly.
It's just a theory.
But they think there's only 2 ways it could be life. One, if it's got complete different biochemistry to anything on Earth.
Like Valiant Thor.
Valiant Thor. So it might use sulfuric acid.
To give itself the chemical face peel.
Yeah. To live. Or the life has a protective shell inside to keep the sulfuric acid out, and to keep the water in.
You mean like the Earth's crust, or the Venus's crust, where they sort of live inside that? I'm thinking of hollow Venus, you know? So the science confirms Valiant Thor's existence, to a point. Does it not?
No, because I don't know what the centre of the fucking Venus is. I imagine it's quite hot.
Yeah, well, they're alright for that, aren't they?
Are they?
They're aircon.
It could be cool in comparison, because it's so hot. It could be cool in the middle.
Yeah.
It is more likely to be hot though, because what's happened is all the gas has turned to.
Well, it's the same. It's a rocky planet like Earth. You go in there, you go to the mantle and the core. It's fucking hot, isn't it?
What happens if it's totally dead?
But we don't think it is because it's geologically active. It's volcanoes. But like Mars, otherwise, and there wouldn't be any.
Maybe that's their industry.
No, you're not going to convince me.
This is a round world with industry.
You gotta have a chimney, ain't you?
Yeah.
I'm up for the bacteria, but this is just bollocks.
I think they're trying. You were up for Vrilly. Clair Valiant he claimed to be from the Intergalactic Command as well. Was that in the 70s? He took over, I think 77.
Yeah.
Took over Southern Broadcast Radio and produced a message of peace and love to the people of Kent.
Right.
And Mike was down for that.
I'm all down for that.
What's the difference between the Valiant Thor?
Well, because they're saying he came from Venus. And we know now that Venus can't support...
You really didn't say where he's from, and it ties
complicated
in.
life.
They're both sat on the same command council, Mike.
Nah.
I can't believe that, they would have wanted to probe him, not just probe his suit. Well, where's these files about,
I bet Valiant Thor was
probing.
out on the tone banging everything that moved. Come on. What's the film? Earth Chicks Are Easy. Wasn't there a film? I can fully believe that the US government has met with aliens. I can fully believe that. There's the Holloman Air Force.
We know what you can fully believe.
the Kelly Hopkins.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that I fully believe that not all of the technology the technological leap we've made in the last sort of 60, 70 years hasn't all been us. We've gone from...
Hasn't it?
I think that we've had some
Isn't that
help.
doing us a bit of a disservice?
No, I think we had some bit of help to make the jump that quick. I think we recovered crashed alien craft, or we got an agreement for them to give us technology.
But all science is peer reviewed, so everyone would know where they got that data from.
Even stuff like it's made in top secret government labs that we don't know it's there yet.
No, but
and they just then.
What,
I don't know. Let's say like the microwave oven, right? Let's say that they gave us a microwave
in the
oven.
secret labs, did they?
Right? So microwaves. They figured out and a byproduct of microwave research was that they realised they could make cold frozen food really hot quickly. So they then put that idea into some sort of funding program through whoever makes this stuff, right? Patent it, and then I'm looking at the microwave as I'm giving this example. I can see it, right? So then they give that idea to someone who then does the science, and
that does the science bit, isn't it?
Yeah, that does the things they made the idea on their own. Gets it peer reviewed, boom, they're making money, but the government owns the patent for it in some respect. That's how they make a shit ton of money.
Isn't it? But I doubt.
So it's like, like stealth technology, so they gave us that. And then, but they gave that idea to the university who then sort of did the science, and maybe they poked them in the right directions, knowing that because they already had the answers. They had to make it look as if they're coming up with it by themselves.
Like a scientist, sort of doing a calculation on the blackboard.
And so we
stuck. He's like, fucking hell, I need to get some fresh air. About 10 minutes later, it's solved.
Yeah! Or someone will come along and go, what if you carried the 4 to the Y?
Just some guy walking past. Hello, sir. What if you carried the
lab coat on?
Yeah. My God, you're a genius, man. It's disappeared.
Something like that. Yeah.
I'm just imagining some randoms in their garage dressed up in white lab coats, solving...
Rick and Morty style.
Yeah. Making microwaves on accident.
Yeah, why not? What if the government... What if it's like...
Building a nuclear reactor and this guy pops up and goes, you don't want to do that.
No, put the green wine to the red wine. That'd make more sense.
Oh, okay, I'll try that. Oh my god, where is he? Oh, he's a genius.
Who knows? I don't know. I'm just saying that I do think, back to my original point, that we have met with aliens as a species and probably come up with some nefarious trade-off for human abduction and experimentation in return for technology. That's all I'm saying.
Where's your evidence?
The Holloman Air Force Base meeting, Mike, which will be a future episode, arising how I met the Greys and the Nordics. The Nordics said, we'll give you, similar to Val, we'll give you some really shit-hot tech that will make everyone's life better, but you've got to disarm, and they were like, nope. And then the Greys came and said, we'll give you some limited tech, which is still like 50,000 years ahead of you, or however far. Now let's say that they take us up in small jumps. So we'll give you like tech that's 50 years in advance. Right? And then once everything's caught up, they give us some more that takes another 50 years in advance. Right? You follow me?
Yeah, I'm following, yeah.
But the Greys, being the shifty little sexist men that they are, went, well, you should disarm, and we went, nope, and they went, well, how about you let us abduct and probe a few people then per year, and we'll let you keep and we won't push the whole nuclear disarmament thing, and we went, okay.
I just don't think a country would go in for like taking extra technology on, because it would be changing our whole, you know, how we are meant to naturally develop, isn't it?
Exactly, we've gone, look at social media, look at the internet, look at that has massively changed our lives. We weren't ready for it. I don't think as a species we were ready for the internet.
No, you might be right there.
So maybe it has created a problem.
People say, oh, it's just teething problems, you know. It's with all new technological breakthroughs, yeah, but society wasn't trying to rip itself apart when someone invented the bicycle or invented the plane for the first time.
No.
So yeah,
you see where I'm coming from
next week. Yeah, it's all bollocks, though, isn't it?
You don't think? I suppose I'm using Valiant Thor as an example, but you don't think we've ever met with aliens? You don't think we've ever met with them on a governmental level? Tried to do a deal with them?
I'm open to it, but until I see the evidence, I can't say either way, can I?
What more do you want? You've got Valiant Thor, Betty and Barney Hill, you got the Roswell crash, you got all these other crashes, 15 crashes that are supposed to have happened across the globe.
Doesn't mean that the governments are talking to them.
You've got Paul, the Canadian Defence Minister guy who says that we do know there's aliens, they've been dealing with our governments for years. Paul Hellyer, the former Canadian Defence Minister.
Could well be true, mate.
Edgar Mitchell, even though I do think he went a bit space crazy, said we know there's aliens and we're dealing with them.
Could be true, mate, yeah.
I mean, for all you know, there was like a little grey in a NASA spacesuit, or with his head covered, like working on tech at NASA, with, you know, instructing the humans.
Got a little mini grey alien in his head, like off Men in Black, and he's like,
yeah. Not like that, but you know, like there's a grey, and he's like hanging around in the lower levels of development places, working on stuff with the humans, so he doesn't take us too far ahead, but he just gives us the right nudges in the right places to make the breakthroughs or to back engineer his tech.
It's possible. Who knows, man? Who the fuck knows? That's the beauty of it. That's why it's a conspiracy theory, because we don't really know. Because there's a lot of stuff that people in power don't tell us about.
Well, yeah.
I think people are, you know, it's easy to believe a conspiracy theory these days because there's so much misinformation.
And the fact it's usually a sign of a collapsing civilization is when conspiracy theories start to be believed more, because people aren't trusting what they're being told, so they go into these radical theories. Nowadays, I think aliens are one of the less radical theories.
Yeah. Like I said, there's millions of sightings. Only has to be one to be true.
To be true, yeah.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
that's a big leap from what I believe might be possible is happening, is that unmanned probes are visiting the Earth, to we've met with the aliens and they give us tech. That's another big jump that I'm not ready to take yet. So I see the evidence. Do you get me?
Yeah, I'd like to think that they have visited. in their see-through craft cloaked devices, you know, spied on us a bit.
Well, I hope not, because if they are giving the government advice, they're giving them the fucking wrong advice, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's why they made the deal with the Greys. The Greys don't care as much. They're more in it just to possibly see us fall.
I thought they were us from the future. Apparently, I've heard there's all the conspiracy.
That's oh, sorry, man, that's preposterous. Drugs are you on?
But yeah, there might be life on Venus. Probably bacterial.
Probably Valiant Thor.
Probably not Valiant Thor.
And the Intergalactic Council.
Is it for?
And Jesus. Because Jesus is there. He's part of the Intergalactic Council.
It's not life as we know it anyway.
Well,
Weird news.
Weird news then.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
Okay. Wife who walked in on husband having sex with his mom
Oh.
always suspected incest.
Oh, nasty.
Oh, the wife of a man who claims she walked in on her husband having sex with his mother told police she'd always suspected incest between the pair. Laurie Lavoie, actually that's Laurie Lavoie, told a police officer she walked in on her mother-in-law on top of her husband on their couch in their living room in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. Tony L. Lavoie, 43, and his mum, Cheryl Lavoie, 64, each face incest charges following the alleged event.
It's not any of your relatives, is it? You've got some relatives in Massachusetts, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Oh, God. According to the police report, the officer asked the wife what she did next after allegedly seeing the pair together on the couch. She told the officer, "I walked into my room and closed the door." Well, he does look like a bit of a motherfucker. She added she didn't say a word to either of them, but called her cousin and then the police. Oh man, imagine
Called
that.
the cousin?
Imagine getting that phone call. I've just walked in on my husband having sex with his mum. What do I do? Well, they only saw
a video camera, we ran in 5 minutes.
Laurie then told police she'd always been suspicious of a sexual relationship between her husband and his mother. She then clarified saying she'd heard the pair were involved sexually but did not know if it was in fact true. They all lived together at the time. Oh my God, he's getting it both ways then, isn't he?
Fucking hell. Oh, that's ranking it.
Oh.
When his wife's had to work, he's boning his mum.
Yeah. Oh, he's even boning his mum. Her mum.
Is that his mum?
It's his mum. It's his mum. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that is not an attractive woman. Oof.
Well, he ain't exactly Brad Pitt himself, is he?
Well, I know, but everyone's got to have a limit, Mike. Well, there you go. Alleged incest in Massachusetts. Oof. Well,
Takes all sorts.
it certainly does.
Medics pull 4-foot snake from woman's mouth after reptile slithered down her throat as she slept. Ooh, fuck me, that's...
It's not a way I want to wake up.
No. This is the petrifying moment a huge snake was pulled from a woman's throat after it crawled inside her while she was sleeping. The young Russian decided to go to hospital after suddenly feeling unwell.
No shit.
Fallen asleep in the garden of her home in Dagestan, Russia, and woke up to terrible pains in her stomach. Little did she know at the time that the 4-foot reptile had slithered inside her through her mouth. Medics had no idea what had happened and she was put in a general anaesthetic as doctors got down to work.
Wow.
You're gonna feel that when you're asleep. She swallowed that.
You think? You would feel it, wouldn't you? You're asleep in the garden.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah. She.
Unless she's very good at deep throating.
Let's just put this out there.
Go on. Man.
That Dagestan in Russia, just by the name, sounds like an awful place to live. I'd imagine...
Making a lot of assumptions there.
I am, but go with me. Now, what do people tend to do when they live in, let's say, less than agreeable places like that tend to drink a lot of vodka. You know, I'm saying that maybe she was that pissed on her side, completely unconscious.
Oh, that food's moving towards me.
No,
That big
she's completely unconscious.
I need a kebab.
Just passed out from drinking some lots of vodka, and she's that drunk, that out of it, she hadn't even noticed.
It's possible. Anyway, they only discovered what was wrong with her when they found the snake moving around, and eventually managed to prise it from her. There is footage of the operation.
Oof.
If you wish to see it.
Still alive.
Yeah, pause it, man. So yeah, we just watched the video. That was interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, it wasn't all disturbing.
I'm going for that drunk. She didn't even wake up when it happened.
I'm going, she's done some sort of like magic party trick after she was totally drunk and then look what I can do!
Hey, this sneak's not poisonous, is it? Hey!
And it's just gone horribly wrong and she's embarrassed and got to turn up at the hospital. Mike?
Wow, hang on, just the bottom bit there. It's a mountainous republic bordering the Caspian Sea, so that sounds dodgy. That sounds like a shithole straight away. It's somewhere I want to live. Not a shithole, somewhere I don't want to live.
That was fucking Trump, isn't he?
Locals say such incidents happen infrequently, and older citizens advise the young not to sleep outside because of the risks. So I reckon this has happened before. I don't
Could be a thing in Dagestan.
Could be. Yeah, it's up in the mountains. It seems like a harsh Russian place to live.
Well, she's lucky. I mean, if it was venomous,
Well, yeah,
killed her.
absolutely.
Okay, last bit of news.
Yeah.
Oral sex linked to vaginal condition that causes strong fishy smell.
Great.
Scientists have discovered a link between oral sex and bacterial vaginosis, otherwise known as BV, vaginal condition that causes a strong fishy smell. The team from University of California, San Diego, suggests that the bacteria induced during oral sex could increase the risk of BV. BV is a common cause of vaginal discharge, and while it is not sexually transmitted infection, can increase your chance of getting an STI such as chlamydia.
So there you go. No oral sex, or you might get a fishy vagina.
Oh dear.
Christ, you can't do anything, can you?
No.
Oh bloody hell!
So, in a new study, researchers conducted experiments in both mice and human vaginal specimens.
Who's giving a mouse oral sex? I'm not doing that in the name of science. You just put your hand up.
Do they pay well, Mike?
I'm a mouse fucker.
10p a mouse.
It's like, get rid of the hair after.
Got your head strapped still in the fucking machine, just sitting on the conveyor belt. Mouse vaginas.
That's my mouse impression.
Is that a mouse orgasming? I used to have this nightmare image of Mike's dystopian future where your head's strapped next to a conveyor belt that forces you to lick mouse vagina every day.
It's a bit 1984, isn't it?
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah, you gotta take the work when it's there.
Is that work or torture? Sounds like something Satan himself would invent.
Funny enough, I think he is the CEO.
So, firstly, the mice were treated with Fusobacterium oh, come on.
Fusobacterium nucleatum.
There we go. And a bacterium found in the mouth linked with gum disease. Oh.
Yeah, so no one's licking the mice then.
So it could be the gum disease, really, that's sort of like, you know, and the bacteria within that could bring it on. So
what we've got to say
clean
is...
your teeth.
Just to sum this up,
Brush your teeth.
If you have good oral hygiene, your partner's vagina will smell a lot better.
That's the conclusion.
That is the conclusion, yeah. Brush your teeth.
Brush your teeth.
Yeah.
Always maintain good oral hygiene.
Hygiene and health.
Well, that's the first time we've been informative. Wow. Oh, that bombshell. I don't think there's anything else to say. I've been Ben, thanks for listening. Don't drink the flavour aid and don't join a cult.
I've been Mike, thanks for listening. Peace out, may the force be with you.
And I've been Claire, and brush your teeth and keep it fresh.